Friends, here we are talking about Ansible configuration. See, before continuing with this video, just make sure that you have Ansible controller node with Ansible core installed. I suggest to use WSL2 CentOS as Ansible controller node because it is very easy to practice. And 2 nodes from any of your favorite cloud. And here, one node is from RHL family and other one is from Debian family. See, now you have 2 managed nodes in your project and one Ansible controller node. So now we have to configure your project to work with your manager nodes from Ansible controller node using Ansible. Let me show you that. So configuring Ansible for your project. See, there are different ways to configure Ansible in real time. See, just assume that you decide to use Ansible for your project. Then how the setup would be. So for that we have some steps. Just follow the steps one by one. Step 1 is create ansadmin user across all servers. Be clear, it's not mandatory to use only ansadmin user across all servers for your project setup. You can take any unique user across all servers. Instead of ansadmin user, you can create automation across all servers or DevOps or cloud admin, any user. Step 2 is provide the root access for this ansadmin user on all servers. Step 3 is generate SSH keys on Ansible controller node from ansadmin user and exchange them with manager nodes with the same ansadmin user. Step 4. Login into Ansible controller node and switch to ansadmin user. Step 5. Create a directory for your project. Let's say under home ansadmin, we will create some directory called my project. See, why we are creating my project directory means sometimes your same Ansible controller node may be using for other projects as well. That's why it is a good practice to have a separate directory for your project. Step 6. Verify connectivity from your Ansible controller node to Ansible manager nodes using Ansible all-m ping. So this is fine. Suppose if you are using Ansible version less than 2.10. Suppose if you are using Ansible from 2.10 version onwards, it is a good practice to provide complete path of your module, that is ping here, like Ansible all-m ansible.builtin.ping. We will see in detail what is that complete path. Now these are the steps to use your Ansible for your project. Now let me go with one by one. So step 1 is create ansadmin user across all servers. Let me do that. First let me log in into my Ansible controller and also manage nodes. Now let me open my PowerShell because my Ansible controller node is from WSL2. So here I am running WSL-L-V. So on CentOS 9 we installed our Ansible core and we already set this WSL as the default. That's why simply if you run WSL from your PowerShell, it will enter into your Ansible controller node with root user. So present state is stopped. That's why to enter into your WSL2, it takes some time. Just wait for that. Yes, now it entered into your Ansible controller node. You can also verify your Ansible here. So this is your Ansible controller node. And my 2 managed nodes are from AWS cloud. Now let me open AWS console. See here I have 2 managed nodes. So first one is RHL and second one is Ubuntu. Now let me get the connection URL. So SSH client, copy this SSH client URL. See here I am using git bash to connect with my managed nodes. And in my current location, I have the required PEM file. So using this PEM file, we are connecting with managed nodes. Same way, let me get the connection for your second instance, second managed node. So copy this Now let me switch to root on both your managed nodes. Now using this command, simply create ans admin user across all servers. First let me create on my Ansible controller node. So once it is done, you can verify whether that user is created or not just simply by running this command. Yes, it is there. Now let me create same user on your managed nodes as well, and also on your second managed node. Then next step is we have to provide the root access for this ans admin user on all servers. So for that, edit this sudo verse file and add this line. So where we have to add, I will show you. So first let me go with our Ansible controller node. So here open your sudo verse file and search for root. See here somewhere we are having root all equals to all. So after this line, you just paste that copied line. That's it. Save it. Just do same thing on your managed nodes also. So let me do it on our first managed node at C sudo verse. Then search for root. Here. See. So below that, paste this copied line like this. Save it. And go to your second managed node. And here also search for root. This line. So after that, you just insert our copied line. That's it. Save it. Then next step is we have to generate SSH keys on Ansible controller node from ans admin user and exchange them with managed nodes with the same ans admin user. Let me show you that. See, now we are on Ansible controller node. So here we have to generate SSH keys from ans admin user. That's why first switch to ans admin user. Now see that where we are under home of your ans admin user. So as of now, if you list your files and directories, these are the files and directories in your home location of ans admin user. Now we have to generate keys. So for that we have to use command called ssh-key gen. Simply give enter. So give once again enter. Now after generating your SSH keys, just simply list files and directories in your home location. See that .ssh directory has been created. So let me go to that location. Now we are under user home and .ssh directory. So here if you list files and directories, see that there are two keys. One is private key and another one is public key. Now we have to exchange this public key with your managed nodes. So let me do that. So these two are our managed nodes. So here also first switch to your ans admin user. Now on your managed nodes, we are under ans admin user home. And let me list files and directories in this location. See here, there is no .ssh directory. Now we have to create manually .ssh directory on your managed nodes if it is not there, because we have to copy public key from Ansible controller node to your managed nodes. So on your managed nodes, under your user home, I am creating .ssh directory. Let me do it on your second node also. Be clear, user home of your ans admin. So here we are creating .ssh directory. Then let me go to that on both manager nodes. Now here we have to create a file called authorized keys. And in this file only, we have to paste our public key from Ansible controller node. So now let me copy this public key. On your manager nodes, I am copying that to authorized keys file. So just save it. Then next step is login into Ansible controller node and switch to Ans admin user. Be clear, as of now, Ansible controller node is ours. That's why directly we have root access. But in your real time, you will be giving permission to switch to Ans admin user from your user ID. So you have to log in into your Ansible controller node with your user ID, and then you have to switch to Ans admin user. Then you have to practice. So anyway, in our case, this is your Ansible controller node. We are already on Ans admin user. Then next step is create a directory for your project. Let's say under user home, I'm going to create my project. See, why we are creating a separate directory for your project means, in your real time, sometimes they may use same Ansible controller node for different projects. That's why it is a good practice to have separate directory for your project. Now let me do that. So on your Ansible controller node, under user home, I am creating some directory. You can create any directory. Let's say I am creating my project. Then navigate to your project. So now you are under your project directory. As of now, there are no files and directories. Then final step, verify connectivity from your Ansible controller node to Ansible managed nodes using Ansible all-m ping or Ansible all-m ansible.builtin.ping. Let me use second command because we are using Ansible version greater than 2.10. So let me run ping module from your project directory. So simply Ansible all-m ansible.builtin.ping. See the result. See the warning. It is saying no inventory was parsed. See, we are using Ansible to work with your managed nodes. But where we passed that information, I mean, what are your managed nodes IPs or fully qualified domain names? That information we have to pass to Ansible through a file. That file is nothing but inventory. So here you can take any name for your inventory. For time being, let's say I am taking inventory only. So here I have to provide fully qualified domain names or IPs of your managed nodes. See, these two are our managed nodes. Let me select first managed node. So here I am taking public IP for that. See, suppose if your Ansible controller node is also from your cloud, then you can take private IPs. But here in my case, Ansible controller node is from WSL. That means out of from your cloud. So that's why I am taking public IP. So copy and paste that. Now let me get for your second node also. Now save this. Now in your project location, we have an inventory file. And in that inventory, we have given our managed nodes information, nothing but IPs. Now let me run ping module. See the result. Still, we are getting no inventory was parsed. That is because of you created inventory, but you did not inform to Ansible use this inventory for operations. So that we can do in two ways. One is while executing your Ansible with -i option, you can provide your inventory file name in this way. See that? Now it is going to work with your managed nodes. But here you are getting some message like, are you sure you want to continue connecting? Yes or no? So basically it is adding fingerprint to your known host on your Ansible controller node. So while executing my Ansible, I don't want to get this message. By default, I have to take it as yes. So for that we have an option. So let me cancel this first. See here, I am exporting a variable called Ansible host key checking equals to false. So now if you run your Ansible after exporting Ansible host key checking variable value as false, then it won't ask like yes or no confirmation. Directly it will connect with your managed nodes to execute your task or operation. Anyway, as of now it is simply connectivity testing. Yes, it got succeeded. And here, instead of passing your inventory with -i option in your commands, what we can do is we can configure Ansible so that by default Ansible will take this as the inventory. So before doing that, simply run Ansible version command and see the result. If you observe here, config file is none. As of now, there is no configuration file for your Ansible from this location. Be clear on that. From your project location, we are running Ansible. So for that, there is no config file. Now what I am doing is, in your current location, I am creating a file called ansibl.cfg. Now let me save it. See, we don't have any information, but we have simply a file. Now if you run your Ansible version command, see the result. It is taking your current location configuration file as the configuration file for your Ansible. So now in this ansibl.cfg file, we can give some default values so that if you don't pass any required value, then Ansible will take that as the default value. Let me show you that. So simply open your ansibl.cfg and then here I am writing defaults. Under defaults, let's say I am giving inventory file location. See, you can provide complete path of your inventory, or suppose if your inventory is there in the current location where your ansibl.cfg is there, then in that case simply you can write / then your inventory file name. Now let me save it. See, previously while running your Ansible, we passed inventory file name from command line with -i option. Now let's say I am not passing. Now see the result. Still it is working now. It is because of this ansibl.cfg. If you don't pass inventory file name from command line, then Ansible will take default values from its configuration file. So in this configuration file, default value for inventory is inventory file. Now let's say I am creating one more inventory called demo. So in that I will take only one host. Let me save it. Now see, in your demo file, we have one IP, one managed node information. Now let me run this command by passing inventory file name as demo. Now see the result. See, now it is working only for one managed node, this one. Because while executing your Ansible, we are passing our inventory file. So if you pass inventory file with -i option while executing your Ansible, then your Ansible will take this. If you don't pass, then only it will take default value, default inventory file from your configuration file. So be clear, compared to this inventory file, command line inventory file has the highest priority. So now just exit from your ansadmin user and then go back and remove a file called known host from your .ssh directory under your user home. Then go to your project location. So in your project location, you have your inventory file where you have your managed nodes information, I mean IPs. And also we have configuration file. So now if I run ansible all -m ansible dot built-in dot ping, see the result. See, again it is asking yes or no confirmation. It is because of you temporarily exported Ansible host key checking equals to false on your command line. If you want to add that as permanently, then what we have to do is in your configuration file itself, you have to add an entry under defaults, that is host key checking equals to false. Now let me save it and now rerun. Now it is not asking yes or no confirmation because we added that host key checking as false permanently in your configuration file. That's it. So now you are ready to work with your managed nodes from this location. So you can execute any task, any operation on your managed nodes from this location. So finally, you have to remember these points under your project directory. Create inventory file. Inventory file name, you can take anything, but it should have the information about your managed nodes. That means IPs or FQDNs. Then create ansibl.cfg file. And in that, as of now, we added defaults like inventory file path and host key checking equals to false. But going forward, we will add step by step more values into it so that you will get more clarity on ansibl.cfg. And once we are good with basics of Ansible with ansadmin user, then we will also see how to use Ansible without keys, SSH keys. I mean using username and password, and also how to use Ansible even without ansadmin user. Okay, thank you.